The metal cuffs clicked shut around her wrists, their cold bite sharper than any wound she had endured in combat. In that hushed courtroom, the woman once hailed as the Navy's deadliest sniper stood alone, her shoulders squared, her eyes refusing to betray the storm inside. The gavel hadn't struck yet, but the judgment in the room was already deafening. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening. She had faced enemies across the world, steadying her breath through desert winds and ocean storms, but nothing prepared her for the betrayal she felt now. The crowd's whispers coiled through the room like snakes. Traitor, liar, disgrace. Each word cut deeper than the restraints on her arms. Her name was whispered with fear and respect on battlefields, yet in this courtroom, she was painted as a villain. They said she had gone too far on a mission, that her actions had crossed the invisible line between duty and defiance. And though she knew the truth had no voice here. Her thoughts raced. Did I do the right thing? Would I make the same choice again if it cost me everything? The weight of sacrifice bore down harder than the shackles. She scanned the room, seeing fellow veterans lower their eyes, unwilling to meet hers, as if silence was safer than solidarity. Then, the heavy wooden doors creaked open. Every head turned. A tall figure entered, his white uniform gleaming, his medals catching the pale light streaming through stained glass windows. It was an admiral, a man whose presence could still the restless tide of a crowd. The murmurs died instantly. Some stood unconsciously straighter. Others froze mid-breath. The admiral's gaze swept the room before fixing on her. For a moment, she felt stripped bare, every scar, every secret exposed. She thought she'd never see him again. She was wrong. He stepped forward slowly, each footfall deliberate, echoing across the polished floor. His voice, when it came, was calm yet thunderous. You handcuff a warrior who carried your freedom on her shoulders? You accuse the very one who pulled men out of fire so you could sleep safe at night. The courtroom seemed to shrink under his words. The judge shifted, uneasily. The prosecutor's confidence faltered. She closed her eyes for a brief second, hearing again the screams from that night overseas. She remembered the children huddled in the corner, the decision that broke rules but saved innocent lives. And now, that choice, compassion over command, was the reason she stood chained before her own people. The admiral turned toward the bench. His voice hardened. Justice is not about punishing sacrifice. It is about honoring it. This woman is not on trial. We are. For forgetting what loyalty means. A silence hung thick in the air. The audience didn't move. Then, a single clap broke out from the back row. Another followed. Soon, the entire gallery erupted in thunderous applause, echoing like a salute that no gavel could silence. Her chest tightened. For the first time in weeks, she allowed herself to breathe deeply. She wasn't alone. The judge cleared his throat, fumbling with his papers. The decision wasn't written in law books now. It was written in the eyes of everyone present. When the gavel finally struck, it carried not condemnation, but acknowledgement. The cuffs were removed, their clatter to the floor louder than any verdict. She rubbed her wrists, feeling the warmth of freedom return. Her gaze lifted to the admiral's, and for a brief second, she saw the faintest nod, a quiet acknowledgement that justice had found its way back, because kindness doesn't vanish. It waits, and it finds its way back. And just as the courtroom had fallen silent at her humiliation, it now rose in reverence at her vindication. The same sun that streamed through the windows at the start now lit her unbound hands, as if reminding her, the truth, though buried, always shines again. If this story moved you, share your thoughts in the comments. I read every one of them. And if you believe stories of courage and justice deserve to be heard, make sure to subscribe and join us for more.